Hello, I'm Dr. David Hamilton, and this is a reading of my blog, The Life-Extending Power of a Sunny Outlook. Can a positive attitude help us live longer? It seems it can, according to a growing body of research into how our mindset impacts health and well-being. Let's start with a fascinating, if slightly gross, study. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University gave 193 volunteers nasal drops containing the cold or flu viruses. Beforehand, each person's emotional style was assessed, essentially whether they had a more positive or negative outlook on life. People with a positive emotional style tend to meet life's stresses more calmly. Those with a negative style are more likely to feel frustration, anxiety or stress in response to the same events. After taking the drops, everyone was quarantined for the duration of the study. Each day researchers collected and weighed participants' used tissues. Yes, really. By subtracting the tissue's dry weight from the total, they could calculate how much mucus each person produced. Not the dream job, I imagine, but a surprisingly effective way to measure symptom severity. And the results? Eye-opening. Participants with the most positive emotional style produced far less mucus and had far fewer symptoms overall. While not everyone became ill, those with a negative emotional style were much more likely to catch the virus than those with a positive one. The takeaway? Our emotional style plays a much bigger role in health than we might realise. A positive outlook can be protective, and this link between attitude and health goes far beyond the common cold. Attitude and longevity. At the Mayo Clinic, a 30-year study of 447 people found that optimists had around a 50% lower risk of early death compared to pessimists. The researchers concluded bluntly, mind and body are linked, and attitude has an impact on the final outcome, death. Another long-term study at Yale followed 660 people over the age of 50. It looked at how our attitudes toward ageing affect our health and even our lifespan. Participants were asked whether they agreed with statements like, "Things keep getting worse as I get older," or "As you get older, you are less useful." Those who disagreed with the negative statements, who saw ageing more positively, lived on average 7.5 years longer than those with the most negative perceptions of ageing. Similarly, a Dutch study of 999 people over the age of 65 found a strong protective relationship between optimism and longevity. Not only did optimistic people live longer, they also had a 77% lower risk of heart disease. What's going on here? The science behind it. So why do these effects exist? One big factor is stress. A positive mindset often means that we respond to the same challenges with less stress. Imagine two people stuck in traffic on their way to an important event. The one with the negative mindset might feel angry, anxious and complain repeatedly, mentally spinning around what a disaster this is. Their stress response kicks in. Heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, the mind clouds. This reaction, while useful in danger, becomes harmful if it's the go-to pattern. Now consider the person with a more positive mindset. They might feel briefly annoyed, but they accept the situation. They stay calm enough to think clearly, perhaps even spot an alternative route. Their body stays more relaxed and their mind sharper. When this more adaptive response becomes the norm, it protects the body from the long-term damage that comes with chronic stress, i.e. increased risk of heart disease, stroke and more. In short, positivity doesn't just feel better, it is better for your brain, body and even your lifespan. Want to be more positive? Here are 3 suggestions. Number 1, practice kindness. Kindness is a powerful antidote to stress. While stress activates the fight or flight system, kindness activates its opposite, the calming, connecting side of our nervous system. Feeling tense or overwhelmed? Try something kind. Check in on someone, offer encouragement, send a thoughtful message or help a neighbour. And if people are your stressors, play around with the idea that you never know what people are dealing with behind closed doors. Maybe you can relate to that one yourself. Either way, even small gestures can shift our emotional landscape and reframe how we view life's stressors. 2, count your blessings. Gratitude can rewire the brain over time. Our mindset is in many ways a habit. A negative mindset is simply a habit of scanning for problems or expecting the worst. But habits can be changed. Writing down 5 to 10 things you're grateful for each day helps train your brain to notice what's going well. With practice, we learn to lean more toward the light than the shade. 3. Say, I'll handle it. In Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Susan Jeffers encourages us to say these 3 words whenever we're faced with something difficult. I'll handle it. It's a simple phrase but powerful. It reminds us of our capacity to cope, and the more we practice it, the more we start to remember how often we have handled things in the past, which builds confidence for the future. Final thoughts. Positivity, it seems, really does rock. Not in a fluffy, just think happy thoughts kind of way, but in a grounded, scientific, life-enhancing way. Of course, no one is positive all the time. Sometimes a little moan is therapeutic, and many people use a bit of negativity as a kind of emotional armour to prepare for setbacks or soften disappointments. There's value in that too. But overall, the research is clear. Over time, a positive mindset tends to be less stressful, more adaptive and better for our health. And it might just give us a few extra healthy years on this planet. I'm Dr. David Hamilton, and that was a reading of my blog, The Life Extending Power of a Sunny Outlook.